But history tells us that as Africans we were pagans. Before Christianity was brought to Africa, we were worshipping demons and witchcraft and all these things. Is that true?
All African, when you pick up the book, by the way, there's a chapter I put there for African names of God in the African space. And when you get to that chapter, you discover that African traditional religions are all monotheistic. Unkulunkulu, Umvelingangi, Mudimu, Ramasedi, Mngari, Gainyame, Onkopon, all those names. They don't talk of a plural God. When the white men found an African kneeling under a tree in prayer, they said he's worshipping a tree. There's no African religion that teaches Africans to worship their forefathers and their ancestors. Ancestors are a historical connecting cable to the creation that happened before we became. Therefore, I am Joshua, the son of Lazarus. Lazarus, who is the son of Marara. Marara, who is the son of Maponga. Maponga, who is the son of Mnyuki. Mnyuki, the son of Muchena. Muchena, the son of Nduma. Son of Nokwara. Son of Chapinduka. Son of Mwenemtapa. Son of Tobera. Son of Murenga. From the great kingdoms of Guruswa in Embo, the sons of Nangashe were in Ethiopia now. Who are the sons of Ham in your Bible? The sons of Cush, the sons of Adam, the sons of God. Now, when you understand that our ululations of our African genealogy is not worshipping ancestors, but recognizing those who were here before us, connecting us to the one who made us before we became. Then you say in African worships ancestors. There's no African religion. There's no African spirituality that teaches you to worship your forefathers. It simply says, call on them. And by the way, there's no African prayer that does not end before you say, please tell the one who created you to deal with this problem. Therefore, it's what we call sacred history interpreted in European construct. When an African calls his forefathers, just like a Jew says God of Isaac, God of Jacob, God of Abraham, and etc. An African, and by the way, white people don't know the Bible because they don't have ancestors, they don't have surnames, they don't have totems. When they say Jesus of the tribe of Judah, they don't know the other Jesus is Mtaung, so we cannot help them. Because even the construct of the text itself challenges their culture, which they don't have. When your brother dies, please go and marry the wife. A white man does not know how to do that. But in African, it's culture. When boys are of a certain age, please go and circumcise them. A white man does not know how to do that. A black man knows how to do that. Now, how can you wait for a white man to tell you what is in the text when the culture and the religion of the text is not European? 80% of the Bible is polygamy. The white man does not know that. He comes down with the monogamous concept on the end. Then we start teaching cheating and etc. on the left and create media around that. So let's not waste our time. What we now believe as Christianity Mchana is European culture. Hey, umtanami, ngiyakaphumela apha endlini engafakanga ingubo emhlophe. My daughter will not leave this house until she's putting on a white dress. Because the mother now thinks that a white wedding is superior to a black wedding or a cultural wedding. So here we are in Sandton right now, 300,000 young boys and girls sleeping with each other, 2-3 children later, because they can't afford 250,000 to go and hire Aventura or Avante for a wedding, to do a white wedding. Are we practicing Christianity? Or this religion we have accepted This Jesus we are talking about and this God we are talking about will not accept a black man until he becomes white first. Then God can deal with him. Because if you bring your traditional drum into the church, Jesus will run through the door. Because he does not understand this. If you come dressed up like a Zulu into a church, the elder will find a tie for you and a jacket so that Jesus does not get traumatized. These are the realities we need to start talking about as Africans. That are we saying what we've accepted as Christianity is Christianity, or it is actually European culture? Then you ask me. And I'll tell you that 60 to 80% of Christian practices is European culture. A man who gives you herbs to drink is a witch. A man who aborts your wife and takes the fetus to make tablets and give you back to drink is a doctor. And your government says this is a witchcraft act. It's not witchcraft as a noun. It's witchcraft as a question. Which craft are you using?
I'm getting nervous because that stick keeps pointing at me and I've got a feeling it can end up hitting me if I say the wrong thing. In the book you say the white God does not hear black prayers unless we are presented in a European way. What do you mean? Because we've been praying all our lives.
Because the African child is not at liberty to present himself before the white God without changing his culture first. Then we understand that Christianity has to do with the sodomizing of the African culture. Because when an African approaches God as an African, Jesus cannot accept them. Therefore, religion is founded on cultural transformation, economic transformation, political transformation, fashion transformation, pharmaceutical transformation, spiritual transformation. Because as an African, God cannot deal with you. If you come out as a Tswana in your Tswana underwear with a stick on your shoulder and you walk up to church, half of the church will run through the door. But they cannot deal with the African until he has been to Edgar's and Markham's and got himself a tie and a jacket to be accepted. When I make those comments, I'm saying we must be careful that when we buy bread, we don't swallow the plastic also. Eat the content, but the packaging of the gospel. By the way, while we are on that, let me be very clear that Christianity is colonialism. Because had the Muslim been here before Christians, ask me what you will have been. Talk to me. Go to Egypt if you don't know. Go to Kenya if you don't know. Go to Tanzania if you don't know. Go to Malawi if you don't know. The populations are Muslims. Why? Because the colonialists who came had the same complexion, the religion they brought. So don't tell me I'm a Christian. Say I'm a colonized Christian. Well, that's what it is all about. Had Allah been here and Muhammad before Jesus was, you'll have been saying Allah Akbar and equally convinced that.
Welcome and thank you for watching. This is Afro Revolt, and today we want to look at this Joshua Maponga speech about the misconception that the religion has given to the blacks and has made the blacks understand, or rather have it in mind, that Jesus was a white man and God must be white. That is not the truth as proved in the Bible. Let us listen to Joshua Maponga and make a reaction in the end.
Who are the black people? Who are the Africans? Who is Al Keblan? Al Keblan is not the European race. Al Keblan is the mother of humankind, and that is my kind. the Hamite theology. No, Noah had 3 sons. One son is Shem, the other son is Jeham, the other son is Japheth, and then Shem is the father of the white people, Ham is the father of the black people, Japheth is the father of the Indians and the Asians. But no one wants to talk it. Noah, what ethnicity was Noah? And if you can find the ethnicity of Noah, then we know what Methuselah, we know what Noah, we know what Enoch, we know Seth and Enosh, we know Adam, and we know God. And how can we have the Shemites as white people when the city that Abraham comes from is the city of Uz, of the Chaldees? And on chapter 9 and chapter 11 of Genesis, the same Bible argues that Nimrod, the black Hamite, built the 11 cities, including Nineveh, including Ur, including Babylon. And Abraham comes from the city that was built by Nimrod. Nimrod, who is a black man, and his name the omnipotent one, God. Bara gave birth. Ham, the black people. Abraham, Bara, Ham. You're not ready, young people. You are not ready because you're still constipated with colonial theology. If you could give me a minute to unpack, your life will never be the same. The war is real. It's a war of identity. Who are the chosen nation? Because once you become chosen, as we have theologically allowed white people to become the children of Shem, and if Shem is white, then in the same breath, the whiteness of Shem in Genesis 11 translate into the whiteness of Shem in Abraham in Genesis 12 and 15, translates into the whiteness of Perez and translates itself into Jesse. Jesse is the father of David, and David, if Shem is white, then Abraham is white, then Perez is white, then Isaac is white, then David must be white, Solomon must be white, Boaz must be white, and Joseph must be white. And that theology is hinged on a wrong interpretation of Genesis chapter 11, that Shem is the father of the white people. So you see the ripple effect of misconcepted theology. Because you accept one wrong thing in Genesis, you cannot refuse that Jesus is white when Abraham is white. You can't refuse that Jesus is white when David is meant to be white according to the Shemite and the Hamite theology that purports that Shem is the father of white people and salvation comes from the family of Shem. I don't know what I'm gonna do with you as young people who have big mouths and small ears. Big mouths, small ears, and minute brains. You can't process this information because the revolution. And again, this is where religion really messes up this thing to a level you can't understand. Because it is Christianity that taught the Afrikaner when he came here that God was cooking people in a pot. Humanity was in a pot. This is on paper.
Yeah.
The Dutch Reformed theology. So he took out the whites first. That's why they are white. The next, he took out the Indians and the coloreds. That's why they are light in complexion. He thought he was going to take out the blacks. Then the story says he forgot the blacks in the bottom of the pot. That's why they bent and they are black.
Penny.
Now, then Christianity says, you are a chosen nation.
Oh, the covenant.
To this group now. You are a chosen nation. And listen to dangerous verses. Wherever your foot will go, I'll give you that land. I'll send you to the land of the Gentiles who don't know, and I'll give you that land. And then the Afrikaner, when he comes into South Africa, he says, God gave us this land. And God gave them the land because the people they found on the land were pagan and did not believe in Jesus. And because they believed in Jesus, and they are the children of the Most High, therefore they have power and authority over the people that are non-believers.
The Kafirs.
I want you to
Kafir is a
understand,
non-believer.
this is serious because the whole idea of apartheid is not politics, it's religion. Therefore, if you don't believe in Jesus, you don't deserve dignity, you don't deserve respect, you don't deserve land. And me who believe in Jesus, as that other white man from Harry Smith, whatever it is, spoke out blatantly.
Lord Smith.
Not Lord Smith, man. This is a pastor who does crusades there, who puts on a big hat.
Oh, Buchanan.
Yeah. Look up and he said, only us,
The covenant.
Afrikaners and white people made a covenant with God. Oh, wow.
That's
and the
Buchanan,
rest
yeah.
of you, and then you'd come back a few days, of course, and apologize for religious reasons. But he had already said it, and we heard him. And by saying that the only ones with the covenant, it means that all of us, 50 million later, who don't have a covenant with God, we don't have access to water, we don't have access to land, we don't have access to respect and dignity. And then the Constitution is written not for the 50 million, it's written to protect the rights of the 2 million.
Yes, I want to get some comments from what I have just read today, and it says that all this we are seeing is about controlling the mind of the black man. That is what it is being said. It is a war of identity, and people want to identify themselves as superior than the other beings. Now, in this colonial theology being taught to the black man, it is meant to make the black man know that he is not worthy being where he is, and he has to be controlled, and the control has to be in a manner that even the religion feels that the God, or rather the savior of the earth, is the white man. Now, I want to give an example because these things, as we try to unravel the truth, we have to give examples for people to understand why we have to say it the way it is. You know that Jesus has been proven to be a black man, even though the narrative and the filming of Jesus depicted him as a white man. It has been proven beyond reasonable doubt that Jesus was a black man. So even as we talk about these issues, even as we try to make Africa look like the best continent that it should be, the first thing we have to agree on is that religion was meant to control the African man. When the missionaries came to Africa, it was a choreography of the white man to make sure that the blacks are controlled. I know that such messages, when we talk about them boldly, it brings a lot of issues, and people don't want to hear about them because it is touching on the truth. And the truth is that the black man is being controlled, and the plan is that the black man must be controlled for the longest time possible. But this is a chain we have to break, because we want to live in a society whereby everyone is equal, whereby everyone has identity and a common identity. And the common identity has to be the human race, not black or white. That is what we have to spread across. That is what everyone should dream about. That is what the world should look like. That is the image that we should all embrace. That is what even the future generation should inherit from us. We need a world where no one feels better than another. If you go to America, they are black, they are white. Let's not separate the black Americans. Even this narrative about black Americans should end. It should be Americans. It should not be black Americans. Because I've never heard about white Americans. And why do you have to term the blacks as black Americans? Even at some point you tell them to go back to where they belong. That is what we have to fight. And in this channel, I promised when it was starting that we have to change the narrative across the globe. Now, about this Joshua Maponga's video, I want you to give your comment. Tell us what you feel about it. Also, if you're watching us for the first time, kindly consider subscribing, because if you subscribe, we will have a long-term engagement. This is where we have to fight about equality. Thank you, and may God bless you.